everyone, welcome back to Kate Rebel's Realm. I am Kate Rebel. Thank you so much for checking in. Let's get into part 1 of the esoterics. Gonkba! Okay, fresh ingredients, and I love it. And every single time I pull him, I say it. That's one prickly goblin. What's in this broth? Deep in the dingy depths of a damp cave in the stale air of the Skinlands, Gonkba stirs his broth in a cauldron, firelight dancing off his tattooed face, humming a foul song to himself as he prepares his magic. Gonkba is a goblin warlock, a position of great importance to the goblin clans of the Skinlands, but feared for their thirst for cruelty and violence. Warlocks like Gonkba demand sacrifices, be they animal, goblin, or anything else, using their life essence for their spells and charms, ripping hearts from chests to capture the vitality, throwing entrails on cave floors to predict the future, and dashing brains on stalagmites just for the fun of it. A warlock in goblin culture is essentially a mix between a priest and a doctor. They are responsible for communicating with the spiritual realm, which the goblins of the Skinlands believe coexist under our realm, and must constantly be kept satisfied so it does not get greedy and destroy Taya. What lies beneath the Skinlands is, after all, much worse than even the foulest goblins. It is this reason that they live in such filth and inflict so much pain. If Taya is so bad, why would the underworld want it? Gonkba is cruel even by warlock standards and has been banished from his tribe, living in his own cave far away from anyone else other than those who stumble upon its cavern's mouth in the mists. There he looms, reciting his spells and toying with his charms, ready to pounce. But Gonkba is also more knowledgeable and curious than most goblin warlocks, constantly looking for more exotic and rare ingredients, almost all of them cruel, skulking out of his hovel in search of these treasures. The incident that led to Gonkba's banishment made goblin clans all over the Skinlands fearful of the warlocks. Before a skirmish, a great chief asked Gonkba to prepare a potion that would make his soldiers as powerful as he was. Gonkba grinned as he assented, offering him a mug of a strange brew. The chief took it, drank, and fell down paralyzed. As he lay there conscious, Gonkba tore out the chief's entrails and stirred them into a potion, saying he would serve it to the soldiers so they would be as strong as the chief. After the goblin soldiers drank several tankards of the broth and realized what the strange chunks in it were, noticing Gonkba's smile and the great chief's absence, they frantically forced him out to live as an outcast. And so Gonkba stays in his filth, not hungry for power, but driven by an all-consuming fascination with the cruel magic of the warlocks. Throwback to 2 minutes ago when I said how cute he was and that I always say fresh ingredients every time I pull him. Felipa! Okay, Felipa. Enchanted arrow. I've seen all kinds of potions inflicted by arrows, but magic? That was quite the nasty surprise. Battlefield Physician's Notes. During times of war, some cities in Taya have instituted conscription laws requiring those young and hale enough to train as soldiers. Despite the risks, recruitment has often been an enticing option for the bored youths hoping to escape their sleepy rural towns. For Felipa, the chance to leave her life of droll magic lessons and pretentious pageantry behind presented as a unique challenge. She was talented in spellcraft and determined to prove herself. There was just one problem. Under pressure, she wilted. Felipa's first few months of training were an utter disaster. Spells she mastered as a child, such as summoning a simple flame, sputtered the moment she was asked to demonstrate them. Incantations she could recite forwards and backwards were reduced to vague mumblings as soon as she was called on. At the rate Felipa was going, her military career would end before she ever set foot on the field. She had all but given until one afternoon when she happened upon a group of archers practicing. Watching their arrows strike their targets, Felipa had a life-changing epiphany. Spellcraft, she reasoned, was not so different from archery. Both were long-range offensive attacks. Casting magic in the heat of battle was out of the question for Felipa, but if she could find a way to imbue arrows with magic, perhaps she could be of use. Felipa began studying archery with the same ardor that she once pursued spellcraft, and unlike when she cast spells, her hands did not shake when she raised her bow and nocked an arrow. Inspiration comes in many forms. Some are inspired by great feats and passion, while others are driven to invent new methods by facing their greatest shortcomings and pressing through them. She learned! Felipa learned! She said, I still love magic and spellcasting, but I'm nervous Nelly. She's like, I need my bow. And now that I have my bow, I can still use my magic. AI. Do you think she's going to have a similar story to Hollow because she's the blue Hollow? Like, she looks basically the same as Hollow. Raised by wolves. AI's true nature remains a mystery, but whoever she is, she fights with the ferocity of the blizzards of the northern winds. AI claims she was born into a family in the Nukris tribe, yet from the beginning, something was not quite right with the child. She was sickly, had a strange birthmark, and it did not seem likely she would survive the night, let alone the long winter to come. Fearing the child was a changeling or connected with the unnatural world somehow, AI was left exposed to the elements with only a lamp to warm her, in the hope that their elemental gods would take care of her, or evil spirits would see the child as a sacrifice and be merciful in the coming winter. Changeling or not, the girl was granted the powers of the elemental frost god, with her veins turning to ice, able to control the blizzards around her. As the girl sat alone on the top of an iceberg, a pack of ice wolves found her and, sensing her magic, cared for her as if she were their own cub. She spent years training with them, brought up to know the wastes and how to navigate them, still carrying her lamp as she learned to howl alongside them. But one dark day, a band of hunters from a nearby frost tribe found the wolves and slew them, leaving AI on her own. Using her magic to keep the spirits of the wolves as an eternal flame in her lamp, she wandered the wastes, the lamp lighting the way for her and the spirits awakening like a blizzard whenever she howled. After years of roaming, she eventually stumbled upon Fort Blacklast. Here is where the recorded truth of AI's nature begins. Initially confused and unable to speak, the girl was taken in and called AI, or Ice Wolf Maiden in the ancient language of the North. Noting her talents in magic but fearing her strange ways, she was subsequently educated as well as the desolate northern kingdom and generous King Hars of Fort Blacklast can provide. With her ancient magic, she quickly became more powerful than any other of the Fort Blacklast mages, determined to protect it for those who had finally given her a home. Although AI is now head of the mages of Fort Blacklast and seems like any other kind of well-spoken noble, strange rumors surround her that there are others around Taya who seem strangely similar to her. She is known to stay hidden in silence for days, claiming to have memories that are not hers, as the people of Fort Blacklast whisper. Just who or what is AI really? Do you guys think? Do you think that there's a connection? Ooh, I don't like that it didn't say, and it didn't say anything about her in Hollows. Kina, a moderately newer epic. Witches of the Wasteland. The academics of the White Tower might be surprised by the arcane power wielded by rural witches and secretive shamans. Camille, light blessed. Come, weary traveler, there's plenty room for one more by the fire, and more than enough able to go around. Strange, isn't it, how dark it's grown outside? Soon as the sun sets, a shadow, colder than blackest ice, sweeps over the village. The streets become darker than sin, but even darker are the fates of those who dare step into the shadow. What you see is an unnatural curse, the work of the infamous Kina, Witch of the Wastelands. It started as many cautionary tales with a handful of greedy barons. They heard tale of a cove where the fish were bountiful and the hunting plentiful. Pooling their coin together, they were able to drive the trolls from this place with fire and magic and hired swords. The riches they made off the fishing, the hunting, and the fur made the men richer than any of us could ever dream of. A town grew out of the cove, and the story could have ended there. But alas, so great was this greed that it caught the eye of Kina. When the barons began to bleed the land dry, a strange woman swathed in furs appeared. She demanded that the barons leave the land at once or suffer nature's wrath. But the barons ignored her. They dismissed her as a crazed woman of the wilds. Then the fishing grew scarce. Next, the elk disappeared. The barons worried, but they had a plan. Money can fix everything, or so they thought, but coins not so effective against witches. Their sellswords succumbed to the madness and sickness. A pox spread through the town, thought to be spread by the corpses of fish that had washed ashore, bloated and turned inside out. As their coffers grew light, the barons offered impossible riches to anyone who could find and slay the witch, but soon they had little more left to offer than the rags rotting on their backs. Aye, the town endures, and we're able to make a meager living, but the witch's curse looms large. No matter the offerings we make or the oaths we swear, a shadow hangs heavy over all our heads, retribution for nature's suffering. Nult, drink this. Nult and the ancient scalekin of the Gacha Desert are the wild masters of its shifting sands, their kind having thrived in the savage land since near the dawn of time, a land as bloodthirsty as the scalekin who roam it. This land is filled with hazards from the terrible sun to the terrifying Eternigans and mighty fire serpents who prey on anything that smells like the stinking sweat of life. Scalekin tribes of the desert must therefore pass down ancient knowledge for their survival from generation to generation of alchemists. These are great masters of magic and mystery that control their tribes from shadows, seeking power wherever they can. Nult is one such alchemist, laid in a brood under a blood moon that filled the golden scalekin eggs with blood magic, hatching on a night as still as death to devour the unhatched eggs of his siblings. The moon of a scalekin's hatching determines its future, be it as a raider, assassin, or alchemist. These scalekin dedicate their lives to providing their tribes with magic and potions, for which they are rewarded handsomely. The unusually intelligent Nult had been told as a young scalekin under the desert stars of a golden age and the works of the great alchemist Almazar, whose potions were so powerful he nearly conquered death, the eternal goal of every alchemist. Yet many scalekin tribes grew worried about the potential of Almazar and seized his arcane knowledge recorded on scrolls, with Almazar disappearing forever. The knowledge was recorded in the ancient and now indecipherable scalekin script, hidden in a magical vault beneath the great shrine that lay hidden for centuries, that is, until Nult found its location. Raiding is essential for survival in the barren Gacha Desert, with trade routes that come too close to the scalekin raided for treasures for their great temples. Nult's role in these is to brew potions and poisons to slaughter any who stray too close to their sacred lands. During one raid on a research exposition, investigating the nearby Eternigans, Nult used a truth potion on captured mages to ask them whether they knew where the lost scrolls of scalekin were kept. They revealed they were locked away in the vaults of the great shrine, the guarded of the almighty eternal guard Nazim, where there was always a strange imprisoned ancient scalekin, and so Nult set the prisoners ablaze with a potion made from the venom of a fire serpent, and swore he would take this knowledge to become the greatest alchemist to have lived. Over the decades, Nult has experimented with innumerable noxious potions, having become obsessed with alchemy and the idea that he shall become the greatest alchemist, constantly drinking his own potent potions to try to recreate Almazar's ancient magic, eyes glowing as he dreamt of power and knowledge, seeing himself as a messiah for his people. The scalekin should be wary, for Nult does not care about anything other than his own mastery of alchemy, drifting firmly into madness. Scheming how to steal the scrolls of his people below the stars of the Gacha Desert night, Nult brews foul-smelling potions and hisses softly to himself that his gold age shall soon come. I don't trust him. Okay, Selkath, Let's see how your story is. You're the last hero of today's video, so better be good. Just beneath the surface, dwelling in the foul, humid swamps south of Esoteria jungle where the magic of those woods run out and flows into the sea via a river that grows sicker the longer it flows, Selkath watches in the dark waters, eyes poking above the fetid surface, lying in wait for new secrets and magic to discover. The almighty shaman of the Mangsa Gilman clan, Selkath is both feared and revered by his people, who tell strange stories of him but are grateful for the powerful magic he provides. For unhinged Selkath can hear secrets in the waters where he waits, revealing the location of shipwrecks and lost travelers for his people to raid, and warning of when frenzied pirates come to steal their hoards buried deep in the swamp sludge. All that is truly known of Selkath is that his name is not actually Selkath. In fact, his true name is another secret, and to ever speak it is to bring great woe on the clan. He is a member of a clandestine order that speaks only in secret words, and Kurgorzes. Celebrating the mystery of knowledge and determined to keep its power to itself, he will lock himself away in a secret hovel for days at a time and emerge with blood on his teeth and new powerful magic. On the rare occasions Selkath has been challenged by the bolder and less suspicious of his tribe, he has smiled and promised to let them into his secrets. He then leads them to the bottom of the ocean where it is said a great beast lurks that can only be heard from the surface as its distant rumble. Selkath then emerges alone and his power is once again unchallenged, for Selkath knows all the deadly secrets of this realm. Such is the respect his tribe has for him, he has routinely brought unpopular members of the tribe as sacrifices for his magic. He will write a name on a rock outside his hovel for his intermediaries to read, prompting them to bring him whoever is requested. He favors the arrogant and the stupid. What he does with these victims is uncertain, but it is likely they are used in his magic, for his precious magical staff is made from the skull of a gilman. And so Selkath, the swamp sorcerer, emerges from his hovel, stays in the swamp waters, and absorbs the magic of the Esoteria jungle, listening for new magic and secrets from the deep and the land. He's just like waiting for the dum-dum. Come down to my lair. I have secrets. Yeah, the secret is death. What? What are you expecting? Look at him. Does he look trustworthy? For real? Are you serious? That was fun. Let me know who your favorites were and who you're excited to see. And I'm really excited to start doing the legendaries. Again, like, subscribe, comment, give me some feedback. I love to talk to you guys about your favorite heroes, all the things that you like about Watcher of Realms. If you have any tips, if you have any suggestions on anything, I'd love to hear it. So thank you so much. I'm Kate Rebel. This is Kate Rebel's Realm, and I will see you next time. Beetlejuice, Beetlejuice, Beetlejuice. She was subsequently. The town endures, and we're able to make a meager living. Living? What am I doing? I am uncomfortable. Ugh. Wait, what? I thought an assault was a chick. He's like, come on, dum-dums. Come on, dum-dums. No matter. No, I don't want to do that. I didn't want to do a southern accent.